aminacademy.com. Let us see the real heroes of India freedom fighters, Veerapandiya Kattabomman. Veerapandiya Kattabomman, a brave chieftain from Panchalankurichi in Tamil Nadu, fought valiantly against the British. On October 16, 1799, the British court started a trial against him and he was executed. He did not flinch in the face of death. Veerapandiya Kattabomman was a Palayakarrar or Polygar from Panchalankurichi, Thoothukudi District, then now in Tirunelveli area in Tamil Nadu. He was also known as Kattabomman Nayak of Panchalankurichi Palayam. He was born to Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabommu and Arumugathammal. His reign began on February 2, 1790. Polygars were feudal lords appointed as military chiefs and administrative governors during the Vijayanagara Empire in parts of southern India. They were in the charge of Palayam or a group of villages, hence called Palayakarrar, or its anglicized version Polygar. The Polygar collected taxes from the peasants and acted as an independent chieftain over time. The conflict with the East India Company began when they wanted to control the Polygars, collect taxes, and control the territory. Kattabomman defied the British and started a war against them, known as the First Polygar War in 1799. A disagreement over pending rents with the British resulted in violence, leading to the death of a British officer by Kattabomman. Despite escaping, a bounty was placed on his head, leading to rebellion from many Polygars. Kattabomman was eventually eventually lived. Now, so far, 1857, the Sepoy Mutiny is regarded as the first war against the British, but the Panchalankurichi wars wherein hundreds of people were killed in is yet to be given that the recognition at the national level. Some historian said like same historian said he found 1353 pages of records about Kattabomman in the Tamil Nadu government archives. The British recorded each day's event by creating sections under 11 topics: military revenues, political and secret consultation, military and secret dispatches to England, etc. They include political negotiation with Kattabomman in 1798 and 1799, Palayam War won at Panjalangurichi, Kattabomman's execution. Information about Kattabomman's brothers Omaithurai and Sivataya during 1801, Palayam War II, led by Omaithurai and the demolition of Palayankotte jail. If you study the battles that took place as part of the freedom movements of India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the British suffered the biggest loss of life only in the 110-day battlefield at Panchalankurichi. More than 800 British Army soldiers, including 40 high ranking officers, died in the battle. There is still evidence in the form of mausoleum of British near Panchalankurichi, the other said. It was only after the agreement between the Nawab of Arcot and the East India Company on July 12, 1792, that the district collectors were employed and the work of tax collection started. They declared, "Your entire country has come under our control. We are the government of this country. You have a respect all the orders of our government. No polygar should keep an army. No tax should be collected by them." Kattabomman refused to accept foreign domination with the help of his countrymen and fought against the British. Let us discuss further about Veerapandiya Kattabomman. Veerapandiya Kattabomman was a Palayakarrar or Polygar from the Panchalankurichi in the Tamil Nadu districts of Thoothukudi, formerly Tirunelveli. Kattabomman Nayak or Panchalankurichi Palayam was his other name. His parents were Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabommu and Arumugathammal. On February 2, 1790, he began his reign. Though most historical accounts refer to his revolt on February of 1857 as India's first war of independence, they seem to overlook many accounts of sacrifices, and one such is about the brave chieftain from Tamil Nadu in the late 18th century who refused to acknowledge the British East India Company's sovereignty and waged war against the colonialists on his own. In the year 1760, Veerapandiya Kattabomman was born. To avoid marriage ties with the Muslim kings and to preserve Hindu tradition, the Kattabomman's ancestors migrated from Andhra Pradesh to a place called Salikulam. They were great fighters that fought till their last breath and belonged to the Togolavar community. In acknowledgement of his bravery and fighting ability, the first of the Kattabommu family to settle at Salikulam was appointed as a chief god to the then King Sri Jagaveera Pandiyan of Veerapandiyapuram. Veerapandiya Kattabomman says, "We are the sons and daughters of this land. We live in a world of prestige, honor, and dignity, and we sacrifice our souls for the sake of our country's reputation, honor, and dignity. We don't prostrate ourselves. We don't prostrate ourselves in front of foreigners. We will fight till we are dead." Kattabommu earned the king's trust via his dedication and devotion, and he became his dependable god, King Jagaveera Pandiya, crowned Kattabommu as his heir to the throne since he lacked an heir to the throne. Kattabommu called himself Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabommu in honor of the king and efficiently ruled the state with vim and passion. British plot to force Indians into slavery. The Kattabommu dynasty's 47th generation was Veerapandiya Kattabomman. He was the eldest son of Jagaveera Pandiya Kattabommu and Arumugathammal. Veerapandiya Kattabomman was crowned on February 2, 1790 in his 31st year and efficiently ruled over 96 villages which were recognized into six divisions. He managed the state with a great deal of skill in terms of administration, justice, and welfare. He had cordial connections with the neighboring states. In 1781, the British East India Company received permission from the Nawab of Arcot to collect land revenues. It was renewed in 1785 and by 1795. They had enlisted the help of additional southern states. They had set limits on the construction of forts and establishment of armed formations, as well as declared that the rulers were just ordinary contractors who may face disciplinary punishment like any other citizen if they refuse to obey their orders. Kattabomman refused to accept the notice, claiming that it was British plot to deny to states right and forces the Indians into slavery. Kattabomman pledged and rejected the British initiative. He gathered all of his neighboring rulers, including those from Nagalapuram, Elairam, Ilayaram Pennai, Kolarpatti, Kodalkudi, Kulattur, Sivagiri, Zamindars. Sivaganga Marudu brothers and a section of the Ramnath king's family to form a union to fight the British attempt to rule over the southern territories. Kattabomman, on the other hand, was unsuccessful in his attempt, as the British were effective in fomenting animosity among territorial authorities. Despite persistent British pressure, Kattabomman remained defiant and refused to capitulate and pay the taxes. In 1798, Jackson was appointed collector of Tirunelveli. Kattabomman refused to pay taxes after numerous reminders. Jackson was hired as collector following a few clashes between the British and Kattabomman. Lusington was appointed collector of Tirunelveli in 1799. Kattabomman was also invited to visit him. Kattabomman, on the other hand, refused to comply with the requirements. Kattabomman flatly refused and stayed firm in his belief that paying taxes to the British would be unjust. The British unexpectedly invaded Panchalankurichi on September 5, 1799. While the entire Panchalankurichi population was at Tiruchendur for a festival celebration, Major Bannerman commanded the British army. Kattabomman, well-managed informers had learned about the plan to launch a surprise attack well in advance. He had kept his men ready for an invasion by the British. Prior to the attack, Major Bannerman sent a message to Kattabomman asking him to surrender. Kattabomman replied by saying that we are the sons and daughters of this land. We live in a world of prestige, honor, and dignity, and we sacrifice our souls for the sake of our country's reputation, honor, and dignity. We don't prostrate ourselves in front of foreigners. We will fight till we are dead. We are begin. The war began. Intense conflict began between both sides. He was critically injured on the last day of the conflict and was taken into the kingdom of King Pudukota by his aides. When the British learned that Kattabomman was in Pudukottai kingdom, they demanded the king to surrender Kattabomman. Kattabomman was apprehended by the troops of King Pudukottai on September 24, 1799 and handed over the British. No compromise on principles. Kattabomman was arrested and taken to the Kayattar jail. On October 16, 1799, the court started a trial against Kattabomman and he was executed. He did not flinch in the face of death and he continued to uphold his principles of respect, dignity, and pride. He was also stood up himself, his homeland's right, and chastised the British for their immoral and illegal occupation. Subramania Pillai, his companion, was also hanged, and his head was displayed on a spike near Panchalankurichi. Saundara Pandiyan, another associate, was brutally murdered by slamming his skull against a wall. Umaithurai, Kattabomman's brother, was imprisoned. In his honor, the Indian Postal Service issued a stamp in Tamil Nadu's Kayattar village. The government has built memorial of Kattabomman. There are studies of him all around Tamil Nadu. It is high time that We Indians honor Veerapandiya Kattabomman's patriotism, bravery, and sacrifice. So far, we discussed about Veerapandiya Kattabomman and his bravery. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.